Hey YouTube, MrRampro here, and I wanted to do a video just on the Zero Tolerance 0301 and just give a little update on it. I've had it for about 2 months now, and it's in the rotation, and I have a pretty big rotation, but I do a pretty good job of rotating everything fairly well, and getting everything in there and getting its own little time. So I just was in the major mood to carry this thing the other day, so it went in the pocket and it stayed there for a couple of days. So I wanted to give an update on it and let you know kind of how it's going. I watched a couple of y'all's videos as well, so if you've been doing videos on this, chances are I saw your stuff, so I definitely appreciate y'all's videos as well. I usually listen to the videos like on my way to work. I don't obviously watch them, but on the way to work, it's about a 30-45 minute drive, so I just plug them in and then listen to them through the speakers of the car. And it's fun to hear just guys talking about work. I'd rather listen to that than whatever stupid music is out nowadays. So it's definitely not my type of music, unless you got the classic rock station, and usually there's so many commercials it pisses me off. So some nice little close-ups there, and we'll do the other side just so you can see how the finish is holding up. You can see that on the other side, and I'll go back to it in a second, on the clip you've got a little bit of wear, and on the nut you got a little bit of wear, just because they protrude. See if I can focus a little bit. Just because they protrude a little bit, but nothing major. This thing is gone through a couple of boxes and tons of EDC tasks. I try not to go nuts on the knives or everything, but you can see a little nick in the blade right here. If I can get it at the right angle and get it to focus, let's see here. Yeah, you see that? It nicked a little bit, and that was today. I was cutting through some cardboard. Must have hit a staple or something. I really don't know. It wasn't that thick of cardboard either. It's kind of odd. So that kind of nicked it, but I can sharpen that out, I'm sure, and make it okay. But that S30V, I guess, is a little brittle, but overall, I really like this knife. This thing is heavy duty, a huge handle. I mean, this thing's enormous. If you haven't held one of these things, it's unlike anything else, really. For a size comparison, just because it's the only thing laying out here right this second. I have some more in my pocket, and I can put out here in a second, but there's a large Sebenza. So you see, a large Sebenza isn't a small knife either, and you're about double the width. Let me see if I can get it to stop shaking. You're about double the width of a large Sebenza, and the exact same length. So it's not an extremely long knife, but it's just the width on it, and it really fills out the hand really well. You can get a nice purchase here. God, my hands are shaking terrible right now. Let me see if I can readjust, make this thing a little better. The kids are building a fort and going crazy inside, so I figured I'd come out and just do a couple of videos, just me rambling really. So far, it is a little heavy of a knife. I'm not 100% about the weight, and I don't really care. You can look up the the stats yourself if you really want to see that. But I want to say it's upwards of 7 ounces. I mean, I think this is like an 8-ounce knife. This thing is extremely stout and hardcore for sure. It can take a beating to a degree. Like I said, I haven't abused the knife, but I have used it, and I have used it really hard. I've had a couple of friends, at work, hey man, can I borrow your knife? And I love pulling this thing out. They're like, holy shit, what the heck kind of knife is this, man? So I get into them, tell them, well, how much is that? Oh, one. And I'm like, oh man, I got this one off of eBay for like 175 bucks. Like, whoa, that's expensive, holy cow. And a lot of guys that aren't into knives, that's the end of the world right there, and it never really goes any further. But I do recommend them to the Kershaw Blur if they want something really close to it for about 50 bucks. I tell them, man, you can find one kind of close to this at Walmart, made by the same company, and blah blah blah. And we kind of get into those topics, but a lot of good feedback from friends on this knife. A lot of people really like it, and a lot of guys that aren't knife guys, that are prior military guys, or just guys that like they like having a knife, but they're not really into it. They seem to be more receptive to the bigger knives. It seems like kind of some of the knife guys really aren't into the bigger knives, and I'm kind of getting there. It was, kind of, you hear other reviewers and stuff like that, and they say, if there's a certain weight on it, I'm not going to carry it kind of thing. But I've kind of gotten away from that mindset to a degree, and I'm kind of getting into it now that if I like it, I'm carrying it, and that's just how it's going to be, so it is what it is. But anyways, let me introduce the beer of the day. This is the Tecate. I'm over here on the side of the house in the shade, and I just got done mowing the yard, and now I'm going to go and weed eat. But I figured I'd take a break, drink a beer, and do a quick video, so that's what you got now. But either way, this is really a great knife. The ergonomics on it are really good for being such a big knife. The curvatures fit your hand really well. I don't have the 200 or the 201. I don't know which one it is, the smaller one than this. But I know they have the 0350 that's a smaller one just like this. But the 200, whatever the 200 is, I don't have that one. And I've heard the ergonomics are a little better on that one in a couple of comparison videos. But I really like this. I mean, it's big and fat, but it's also flat, so that's also cool too. So fits really good in the pocket. I usually keep these bigger folders in the back pocket just to keep them out of my way, and they seems to work out really well. Back left hand, opposite side of the wallet kind of deal. I will say that closing it is a little tricky. You got to kind of make sure you get all your fingers out of the way, and that's really about it. A great user knife. You know, this is something that you're going to go do work in the backyard. You know, that's something to carry with you. I usually have my Recon 1 with me for that. I think, as a matter of fact, I've got my Recon 1 with me right now because I was mowing the yard. But I think that this ZT would fit that bill very well. For me, it's part of my, you know, it's part of my EDC rotation, so I do carry this to work. I do, you know, use it like a regular knife. I'm kind of getting into these, you know, kind of mid-range production knives that are, you know, not the most expensive ones that you can get, kind of like, you know, the Sabenza's kind of getting up there and everything like that, but these here, the sub $200 knives that you get a lot of bang for your buck, I think that's pretty cool. So I'm really starting to be attracted to those. You know, of course I love the customs, but I mean, I could have all these knives here, you know, plus a couple more for the price of one of those customs. So it's kind of, you know, if I had the money, heck yeah, you know, we'd all have all the knives. So really great texturing on the G10. It does work good wet too, by the way. I used it the other day when it was storming outside at work, and it worked out pretty good. So that's good to report. It's kind of aggressive like Cold Steel's G10 is. The texturing, you know, it's not extremely, I don't want to say extremely aggressive, because Cold Steel's kind of feels a little sharper, but it's really good. So if you're worried about it. And everything lines up good. The fit and finish on this thing is really nice for the price point. So I would definitely recommend it. Anyways, time to make another video, and we'll talk to you guys later. Thanks a lot for watching.